Hello and welcome to Rough Shot Ramblings. Another episode, this time we're calling it Contact. And I'm your host, Stone Hobbit, and I have a lovely guest today. She's fantastic. We've got a lot of similarities going on.
And
Oh,
welcome
geez, I
to
did it
Rough Shot
again.
Ramblings.
So I'd like to welcome my guest, Miya StarFire, who showed me a fantastic video this morning. Now I need everybody to go out there and go and have a look for it and give it a link. I'll bring it up in the messages when I figure out where I'm at. Okay, so where are we? We're down here. There, down the bottom, you can see the address to go to. She's got some fantastic videos out there. The one that I saw this morning, I highly recommend to everybody to have a look at. It is the I don't know, what do you call them? Do you call them plasma spheres or orbs? What's the title you have for them?
Um, I just call them beings because I don't know if they're solid or plasma. They could be both because I've seen both. So, or I've seen them shapeshift too, actually. So,
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna read your bio out. So Miya StarFire, totally perfect, imperfect, and I love that. Shining my light on the path ahead. I'm an empath and intuitive healer, working as a licensed massage therapist and energy healer for the past 26 years, moving through this awakening into a golden age as a light warrior and a starseed. The waking never stops. Once it starts, it just gets faster, doesn't it? She is a multifaceted and multidimensional. It seems she is always find what you always find another side. Oh, so many dimensions. You just get aware of one, and then something turns you around, and you see that there's another one.
yeah.
Artistically creative, highly protected, and connected to the divine. Welcome, Miya. That is absolutely fantastic. I can relate to that in so many ways. So jump in and
Yeah,
tell
thank
everybody a little bit about yourself.
you. You just told the whole thing. No.
I have not.
We besides being a healer, uh, I am a mom and am contactee and a paranormal experiencer. Um, and I'm pretty new to this community, so yeah, I really do feel more comfortable here than with any other people I've ever been around. So I feel like I'm not kind of been. I used to tend to get looked down on or kind of like silly little girl kind of thing. So yeah.
Have you, how long has it been since you started seeing these beings and crafts? Now, I'll just fill the audience in. If you go to Miya Starfire's YouTube and have a look, you'll see the latest video that's up. She's caught some footage of these orbs going across the sky and turning into a triangle. So there's a lot of contact and communication going on now. I just had to have her on today because this is like there's so many people that are seeing them now, and it's basically my background. It's like I have to be there. I have to hear what you see, what you experience, what you find with these beings that are coming in. So, how long have you been seeing these beings?
Well, these particular ones I've only been seeing about 5 years. My first contact experience was when I was in high school, and it appeared as a long, like light rod almost, and it was big, but it was plasma, and it went through the car I was driving. And it was quite scary because in the 90s, this wasn't really talked about. the layers and depth to everything. No one had any idea. Like you think of Alien, you think of a little green man and just a saucer ship, and that's it, right? Everything else was demons and ghosts, and but I did see. I think I saw quite a bit when I was a kid, but I always taught to just it's just your imagination.
Yeah.
Um, I had a particular imaginary friend. His name was Maynard, and I feel like he might have been some kind of interdimensional or extraterrestrial. Just kind of there for me when I was a kid. So I was an only child. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So did you have like other paranormal experiences growing up?
yeah, I would see like people's real forms,
Yeah.
and it would freak me out because I would see things like boar faces or scary things, and then I would have to like close my eyes and refocus. And I was quite young, so it was pretty scary at that point.
Yeah.
I think at one point my mom tried to tell me that someone must have been wearing a mask. I'm like, it's not Halloween, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do that.
So do you still see those? Do you still have that ability to see behind the physical and see the spiritual? Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. When I went to St. Louis, I actually did see someone um, who looked like he was about to pop out of his suit. Like his the energy about him. It wasn't like he was a big person or anything. He was very uncomfortable, and I could see that there was some kind of a reptile.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I feel really bad saying mean things about people I don't know, but I did I did see that, and it looked very much like he was very uncomfortable in the
Yeah.
human form he was walking around in. So
Yeah. See, I don't look at the creatures as bad, good or bad, because when you find out there's another party above that saying, let's split them into these segments. You've all got a job. We want this from this lot. We want this, energy from this lot, and we want that energy. They're all the same beings doing it to us. So that later on down the track, someone will say, "Oh, what was your experience like?" And they'll say, "Totally negative, totally negative." While the other person over here has only got the really good stuff. Now I see a lot of unnecessary battles between people over the good and the bad aspect of these beings. When we turn around and say, well, they're looking for knowledge, they're looking for the information. There are beings out there like the ones that we've been seeing now. With your paranormal side, do you see do you see the dimensional orbs? The
yes.
ones that people call that, they started saying poo-pooing it by saying it was dust particles and it was moisture, and yeah, they're all factors, but there is actually living conscious orbs out there, and some of them fly ships. They've shown it to me, and it's like, oh wow, okay, this is the reality that we're really in. So you see those, and how often?
Yeah, I actually have seen quite a bit of those in my home, outside. I had an experience with one in the broad daylight, which for me, for some reason, I don't tend to have too much paranormal stuff during the day. It's usually at night. I don't know, just because my mind is open to it happening more, or what's going on. But yeah, I did see one about the size of a soccer ball fly over my house, and it stopped for about a minute above my house and took off flying in the other direction, moving, whatever, floating. I don't know what to
Yep.
call it. Um, and it was definitely, checking us out. It was definitely sentient. And I actually had one wake me up in the middle of the night about 4 nights ago. Something was tickling my arm, and I thought it was like a spider or something gross and weird. And then when I didn't see or feel a bug, I kind of went, what? And I sat up and I flicked the light on, and a little white kind of, maybe gold or not gold, purple and bluish kind of, maybe in the center, maybe. I can't, it went by so fast. So it's like, oh, lights on, gotta go. So it kind of moved off, and I was like, oh my God, that wasn't a spider, but yeah.
So do you like when they come in for me, they like tingle on my cheek or they play with my hair? I mean, I can be sitting here and all of a sudden a piece is going to get pulled out. It's like, okay, yeah, yeah, they do come. I haven't felt anything bad from them. Now, my progression from one sort of orbs to the other one. Now, the other one was already there, but I didn't see it and recognize it. It was just a star going across the sky, or it was like, okay, well, that was a bit different, but that was there. It wasn't until I really started getting a lot of communication with the plasma orbs, and that started with flashes out of the corners of my eyes, right? And I was like, well, I'd turn to see what that was, and I'd missed it. So I thought, okay, well, over time I'll see it, and instead of me reacting and looking out, turning the whole, I'll just look at it out of the peripheral. And if I can see it in the peripheral, then I need to set up a camera. So I set up a camera and I started seeing it. Then because I also worked in a photography lab in my teenage days, in the main Henderson Street, I started seeing these orbs in people's their actual film, and I got in trouble, and because of they thought it was something that I was doing to the negative film. So I went on my way. But then I started seeing them again later on, and it wasn't until I went away and then this person was taking photos of me, and then all of a sudden there was just like this absolute carpet. I was totally surrounded in this mass of these orbs. And later on down the track, when I look back at it, I now see figures of other beings within the clump of those orbs as energy particles. So when they come in, they're different strengths. So I can tell the difference between a synthetic one, which is used for energy for a being, or the living beings, which that type of dimensional being are very similar to the plasma or the luminous spheres that we're seeing, the more solid form. Now, do you see the orbs with your naked eye? I'm talking about the dimensional ones, because
Yeah,
and
not all of them, but
yeah,
some of them do.
do you think there is a connection between what we're seeing with the dimensional orbs and the luminous plasma spheres, whatever you want to call them?
That I often wonder if they shape themselves differently in like progression of time of being like here or wherever they are. I don't really know. Um, I have also seen like a shadow figure. I think I told you too, and that that was quite solid looking, but it went through the wall. So I kind of wonder what that was too. And that was with the naked eye. But I don't know. I have seen one shape from a solid and go completely almost translucent too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it looked like a little tic tac, like they show on whatever. And
What
yeah.
what you were saying about the white one, the soccer ball size one above your head? Wow, that was like, I know someone personally. Um, we had an experience like that. He was out in the yard putting some tools and bits and pieces away, and there was one floating above his head. And for a split second, he ran inside to get me to come out, and it was gone by the time we got back out there. But he described it exactly the same way you just did, and I was like, oh wow, that's going to be so cool. That is like, that's another little confirmation.
Yeah, I love
Who needs government disclosure when we've got each other?
who knows. all
Yeah.
they say is lies anyway. So, I
Yeah.
don't even know if
Never.
they know what they're talking about. So,
Yeah. So do you want to talk about the video that you put up today?
okay.
Because
Um,
that's a really awesome video.
yeah. Do you want me to go through kind of like the whole
If you
story
like
of
to,
how
if
it
yeah,
happened? Okay. So I would see craft in the sky prior to this. It was never to the extreme that it has been. Like, not at all. Like, I don't even think I've seen 6 in a night, let alone 15 to 20. When my partner went outside with me, they were like almost excited that I was showing, someone else that could see and feel what I was seeing and feeling. So I feel like they displayed themselves more or something. I don't know. This is all theory. Um, but yeah, so I would experience them, but not to this level. And then I got connected with Phil, and we would talk about, you know, ET and being connected to the Arcturians, and the experiences we've had. And then within a week, I had what I call the parade of lights or beings in the sky happen for about 8 days. And that to me seems miraculous. And it also seems miraculous that I seem to be the only one that's witnessing this. you know, like, how is everybody not outside looking at all this right
exactly.
now? Yeah. And so immediately we both knew that this was correlated. Like, us talking about them, us, having like minds and being connected to a certain ETs had everything to do with what I was experiencing. And then when I met you and I had one conversation with you, and it has not stopped. It's still going on. I bet you if I could take whatever outside tonight and you were able to see it, you would see that they were out there dancing around. And they don't, I don't want to say that they're not there, because I feel like they're there always. They just don't make themselves
No.
known. Yeah. Have
Yeah.
some communication. Um, but I'll go out there and I'll kind of cheat and I'll shine my flashlight in the sky and I'll write "I love you" in the sky, and then I'll have to wait about a couple more minutes, and they start to come out. So
So tell us how they communicate with you, because that's what they do
oh,
for me.
okay. So I was at first saying stuff, and then they would respond with like, "Oh, I wonder if I'm going to see a flash in the sky," and immediately I would see a flash. Um, or I wonder if, I don't know, 3 are going to show up, and then 3 would show up. It would just, I would say it, but then I started to realize that I'm so far away, and I know that they use telepathy to communicate. Like, one of my
Absolutely.
Aquarian guides, she doesn't talk; she just speaks straight through my head when I'm in meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like her mouth never moves unless she's like, forming a smile for my benefit. So I was like, I'm gonna just think about what I want, and I did. And so I thought, I really love it when I see the flashes in the sky, and I got 2 right away. And then I said, I really also love it when I see you dancing in the sky, multiple of you, making it apparent, like brightening up. And that's exactly what they did immediately afterwards. And then I thought, I saw you make a triangle a couple nights ago in the sky. I would really, really love to see it, because that's pretty cool. I mean, it takes some. I have a whole other theory that they're all connected to whatever, telepathically too. Like, and I don't know. Anyways, um, that it's just beautiful. Like, it's so beautiful to me. Um, and so then they made the triangle in the sky again, just by thought alone. So,
Yeah.
you hear this kind of stuff happens. It's completely different when you experience it. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like saying you have unconditional love for a child, and you have no other kind of love is the same, and you don't understand what that means until you have one, right? So it's kind of like it's similar to that. Like you won't understand how different it feels to go through it unless you do. I feel like all of us can, I really do.
What about so daytime? So daytime, have they showed up for you in daytime
Yes. Um,
and made the same patterns? Have they
no.
flashed? No.
I've seen flashes in the sky in the daytime,
Yeah.
but I can't see anything besides a flash. So they're completely cloaked or whatever they are. Um, but I have seen solid ones in the daytime
Yeah.
fly overhead. Always in this same area. I mean, we live by a volcano and a lake. There's lots of obsidian and quartz. I've heard that's a theory. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Well, where I was based, we've got a volcano, and then I'm in the center, and I was on a ley line, and then there's another point behind us. And they used to, and the powers that be built it's called the Sky Tower. It's a giant casino, whatever. And it's like a giant needle that stands in the middle of these two structures. And this is where we would see these orange plasma luminous spheres coming across. They would come from this direction. And we always wondered, we're pretty sure that we've seen them come up out of the water. I've got photos of daytime photos of the dimensional orbs coming up out of the water, but we've seen these things come up out of nowhere, and there's no houses and stuff anywhere around except for water. We've been driving down the road, and we've seen one in the distance, and I mean in the distance. But it's like as soon as we see it, it knows that we've seen it, and
Yeah.
starts doing different types of maneuvers, like it'll try to hide behind a bunch of trees, but we'll drive around the corner, and we got to a stage where we go, yeah, let's follow it, let's just follow it, because nobody else is doing anything, and we can see it. So we'd follow it, and we'd go on this chase, and it knew that we knew. And it got to the stage where the same group that would come over, we were able to recognize, well, me personally, I could recognize the different ones that came in. It was like each being, each plasma sphere, luminous sphere, was its own individual energy signature. And the one that came into my room showed that it was capable of morphing into two. So whether it was just a single energy form, energy source, I can't fully elaborate on that just yet, because I've seen both. And when you're talking about the more solid forms, I've seen them come across as an orange sphere, get closer and closer, and then all of a sudden they've turned into like a silver ball. And it's just, the first one I saw came across, and I had a friend staying at the time, and we're jumping up and down like, mad hens. And I'm trying to find the camera. I just got to.
Yeah.
It's when it starts off, it is so exciting. I mean, it's still exciting to this day. 20 years later, it's still exciting. And I run outside to get it, and it's just this. All of a sudden, you see this, poof, and it's like it's broken through some sort of time, some sort of spatial thing, and you can actually see the energy in the cloud move. And so that's gone. And then there's another one, it settled down, and then there was another one that came over. And by the time I ran and got the camera and pushed the button to turn it on and run around the side of the house, it was going over top of the trees, and it was no longer a plasma sphere. It was a triangle with a pink hue coming from the back end of it. And so I say that was my first triangle UFO that I
Oh,
put with this camera. But I've seen these things come in different colors. They've come in. I don't know if my story of it, but if I'd had a broomstick, broom handle, I would have been able to reach up inside it.
oh
These
my
these
goodness.
things, they come together in a cluster. They go into like a sack, and that camouflages them, and they just look like a cloud. If you know this, you're gonna, when you start seeing them flying around and stuff, and then suddenly they're not there, they've switched off for the night. Have a look and see if you can still just keep watching, because
Okay.
you'll see this undulating black cloud that doesn't, it's not moving the same speed as the rest of them.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like you were saying, you had like you saw 15 or something at once. Am I correct? Or
yeah. The very first time it was, I think I counted 15 when they first came out in the big amount, and I don't know if they're all like singular ones or if there are many of them making many different lights. It's too hard for me to see. I feel like there are many other ones, and I've been able to pick up many of them with the monocular, so that thing helps. Um, but yeah, but the one huge display, I think there was like 20. Like it
yeah.
was crazy. It was a crazy amount. It was wild. It was cool. It was so cool. And I felt like I was thinking it was cooler than my partner, but anyways, that's okay.
So you weren't alone when you saw it. You had witnesses with you when you saw them.
So my daughter was with me the first time it happened, almost every night. She started to get like this again, you know, which is cool because now, she has that
Yeah,
layer taken off and forever.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then the second time it happened, it took a couple nights alone, and then I was like, you got to come out here with me and witness this, so you don't think that I'm exaggerating. God forbid. He knows, he's seen them before too, like one or two
Yeah.
together. He saw the plasma one with me, so in the middle of the daytime, so he knows I'm not lying. But when you say 15 to 20, you're like, okay, was it 5? you know
I'll back you up on that. Absolutely, because the first mass sighting that we saw, they were coming in from over the city. We've got the next door neighbours. It's a double-story house. Everybody in that space where we lived knew that we were the weird ones in the street. Swinging swords and having fires and get-togethers every week. But it was also, here they come, here they come. Look, look, can you see it? Can you see it?
Yeah.
It wasn't that gentle, I might add.
Oh.
And one night we were seeing them coming across. This is when I decided that's it. I gotta really start paying attention to and actually acknowledge all these different aspects of energies, entities that are coming in, because it seems to be at that stage, you seem to be more and more showing themselves. And it was, are they all working together? We had the greys, we had the tall whites, we had short reptilian browns, we had beings that came out of a lightning strike, which went through the fence. And we could see a burn hole in the fence, but there was no burn hole in the fence. When I went back to get the video recording of it, it was totally shh. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't see anything. But there was 3 of us in the room that day watching it, and we saw it happen. We saw them running around, and they all seemed to be in conjunction with each other. They all seemed to have abilities to communicate with each other without us. So it's like, I know that certain different types of entities communicate, work together, hierarchy system, that's all there. Do you feel like there's a hierarchy system within these plasma orbs, plasma spheres?
I often wonder. So I'm going to say something that's wild, and I could be totally wrong. This is just an opinion. Someone had confirmed that this is what they thought was to be the truth. Also, I don't know if he wants me saying it, so I'm not going to. But so there's this. I thought it was an orb. Do you remember when I said I think there's this colorful orb that was here last night? It was moving super slow
Yeah.
and just hovered all night, and it came back. Well, come to find out that that's a star. It's not a star. It's not a planet. I think it's a huge ship. I think it's like a giant mothership because I feel like its energy is watching whatever is going on beneath it. And it appeared right after the displays, and I could almost sense it paying attention to the ones that were making themselves known. That's
Yeah.
just a theory. I could be totally wrong, but it did feel like a hierarchical, like monitoring, maybe,
Yeah.
um, for me. But
Yeah.
I could be a complete whack job, and that could
And
be totally wrong.
each time you get a flash, I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. Each time you get a flash from them, for me, it's like a download. I expect that whatever message that they've just sent to me will be filed in the right order and then eventually be recirculated back out again.
I
Yeah.
agree. Hmm.
So that's like I used to test them with the laser and I stopped doing that because they were already answering before I'd even asked them the question. And I've had other people with me when we've done this. Um, they change colors and things like this. So what about your animals? How are the emotions and stuff? Do you think that they sense your emotions and that's why you see more of them? How is the tuning that you have with them? Like for me, I will get a sense that something's pulling me outside. I got to go out there. I got to see them, and I'll be looking in a totally different area, and I just will turn around, and suddenly there's that flash. They show me which way I've got to turn around, and so do you get that with your downloads? And
Yeah. So the senses and the flashes. There's also something else I haven't talked about very much because I don't know what it is, but maybe you can shed some insight on it. Um, Having to do with the flashes, I would say every single time I get a flash, I get the head tingles, which I
yes,
always correlate with a download anyways. Because I could be in my house and for no reason get it and be like, okay, I'm finding something out, you know. so, um, so yeah, I do believe. And then usually my downloads come um, while I'm doing something like sun gazing or exercising. It's whatever state my brain is in at that point. It'll just come in like a download. It's not like I need to put the chicken in the oven. No, it's like turkey, like it's just out of nowhere.
yeah,
Um, and
yes,
yeah, the flashes, I do. I feel them happen before they happen. Like I just know where to go all of a sudden for no reason. I have had an actual like verbal, not a command, but a suggestion. It was the very first time these massive amounts happened all at once. It it came to me as go turn the light off and go back outside in the back. And
yeah,
so I did. And that completely correlates to the other thing I want to talk about. I had the only way I can describe it is maybe plasma. I think everything is plasma though. At first, I thought it was a shooting star, but it went right over the top of the house, and stars don't shoot over the top of the house. And it was like three tiny stars right next to each other with long ass tails.
yeah.
And it
Yep. Oh God.
went
Yes,
through one
sorry.
of my trees, and I thought my tree was going to start burning up because I'm like, did someone just throw a firecracker? But then I realized that it was a signal. It was like, and I've gotten another one this second time after we met, and it almost looked like a fairy because it was shaped kind of um, fairy like, and it went through another tree out here. It was almost like these things are pointing where to be or where to look. And then I had another one that was just a round one, very very low, probably the length of a telephone pole. So
Okay.
shooting stars aren't that low in the sky. It clearly isn't firecrackers or anything because that's absurd. It's more absurd than it being a being or some kind of signal. So I don't even know what to call it though. Do you have anything?
No, no. It's like, when I have a constant, it's like I have a constant communication with something that's always, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. People who know me would know that I talk about the multi the multitasking. well, it's multi-dimensional tasking. It's like, well, if I'm going to leave the house, I have to pick up A, B, and C. The last thing that I see on the way out, that's what I've got to take with me. I might not need it, but somebody out there might need it. It's like these beings have basically taught me over time that, someone's going to need it. Someone will need it. So take it with you, stick it in your bag. I've got some very weird devices in my bag, you know. And all of them revolve around repair items, tools. And yeah, it's not a normal handbag, put it that way. But
Yeah.
these beings have come in, and I feel that they've helped towards when I got really sick with the other things that were going on. um, as an explorer, I stuck my finger in some what was meant to be pollen falling from the trees. I ended up with acute pneumonia, and it was yeah, within hours of it taking place. So I knew there was something more to it. And
Yeah.
then I got to witness these different orbs inside the hospitals, and I was watching like a protection thing going on. So, I now listen to these voices when they come in. If they're not in the best interest of our wellness, then I question them, like, why do you want me to do that for? What am I meant to be doing that for? Because that's not going to help them. That's not going to help me. That's just going to generate more this, chaotic energies and sort of thing. So I think by my whole demeanor and perception of what these orbs were, and it changed to, I want the contact. I want the contact. So come in. I'll be there, and that's is what happened. They came into the house and they did this. I'm really loving sharing these conversations with you, because like you would the one that you just mentioned with the three that had the tails. I was in a totally different location from where I used to live, and we were sitting there, myself and a friend were sitting out the back, and we're just sitting there watching the sun go down. And this white thing, just like what you were describing, looked like a small tic tac that had this long ass white tail. It just shot over top of the roof and down between the two seats that we were sitting on, shot out the back of us, up over the fence and over the trees, and it was gone. And we were like, what the heck? What was that? It was like it felt like it was being chased by something. It was like a panic. It wasn't meant to be there. It was being seen, and it wasn't meant to be seen. It was moving so fast, and you could see that there was a solid form to begin with, and then it just went into like a white tail. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it was just the energy that we were seeing as it was moving, or if it was actually connected to it. So, I've
Yeah.
it's like these beings, they're all working together. The plasma or luminous spheres that we have. All right, I should go to some of the anybody in the audience. There's a lot of conversations going on. Everybody's loving what you're sharing.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know how far back to go, and I'm terribly sorry I haven't kept up with everybody that's in the room, but I do appreciate you all coming and having your share. Um, okay, I know that Cosmic Voice 33, he also experiences what we're having. I mean, he was in the same location that I was in when I was having these experiences. So, and I've seen some of his photos. They're exactly the same thing.
Yes.
It's definitely the same thing. And I know that wreaking havoc. He has the dimensional orbs, because I've seen them moving around as well in the videos that he's got. Most of the participators in this field have got footage,
Yeah.
and it's not about sending it to any government agency or someone representing anymore. It's about us getting together and saying, look, this is what I've got. This is what I've got. What are your findings? What are your personal experiences? How does it make you feel? What was the weather like when you saw them? Is it an emotional link that you have? So, like, for some, that I've dealt with, some of these people are saying that only when they're in a really negative, dark state do certain beings come to them. And it's a frequency thing that they're picking up. But if these orange plasma spheres or lumispheres are coming to all of us, no matter what the emotional, what we're putting out there. That's something different than just these other beings. I mean, I truly am a believer of these other beings coming in and harvesting our energies and knowing stuff about us that we're not privy to. The government has not allowed us to know. But
Right.
deep inside us, we already have these innate knowings. We have these communication abilities, and this is one of them. Is like when you're happy within yourself and you're excited and you suddenly see something like this, that's an imprint that sticks with you. I still get excited to this day, whether I see an orb shoot past. I mean, I could be sitting here talking to somebody, and all of a sudden one will come in, and I'll start dodging the bullets.
Yeah.
You know. So, so it's not that I've got a tick or something.
Yeah.
It's just that we get quite active here from time to time, depending on
Yeah.
the activity. So,
Yeah.
what else have you? What else would you like to share about these beings?
I totally agree with the not needing to be. I was worried that I was being too, because I tend to get a little squealy, like, yay, and I'm like, okay, calm down. I can't act like I'm some teenager. But now my daughter does it too, and she's, almost 4, so it's okay. But yeah. And then I like, she would do something, get really cranky and like, upset because she was over it, and I would be like also getting frustrated because I was trying to enjoy the things happening, and then I would get worried that they weren't going to come back, but they were still there. Like I think that they completely understand that we're humans, and this shit isn't fucking easy. Sorry. um, and that part of us being here is experiencing all these feelings. So I don't believe that you need to be in a perfect state in meditation to have contact. I believe that if you want it and it's in you to see, then you will see. Yeah.
That's the best. I haven't heard anybody else put it any better than that. That is right. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what emotional state you're in. It doesn't matter if you what you eat or anything like that. They will show up. They will show up. If you are in that mindset that you want communication, there's more to this existence that we're in. You start wiping away the stuff off our eyes, and the feeling states, they kick in. I don't know about whether it was because I was doing a lot of inner self discovery, working out all the stuff that I was going, doing all that shadow work. Then I suddenly saw mass. But when I think about that at the same time, I think about all the others that were in my vicinity, like my partner at the time, my children at the time, their mates, and so on and so on. These other people could all see them. They could all interact with them. So I know that it wasn't just what was going on inside my mind. So these beings will come along. Um, I don't know if we're all going to see the same type of beings, because it does, for me, come down to a frequency, the frequency that we're holding. There may be some connections within you that stop you from actually interacting with a certain species or something, but that doesn't mean you're not going to interact with another type of species that's out there. So, I'm really loving this. Okay, so does anybody in your family, or you mainly, I'm interviewing you, have had any experience with night terrors as per se in connection to having any of these paranormal activities or sightings of these plasma spheres?
Um. So I have had like the what is that called when you can't move? Sleep paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
I had it a lot about 8 years ago, but I was so busy and in a condensed like city atmosphere with my head down and stressed out that I wasn't really taking time to look for anything. Um, and my son was getting night terrors at the same time. I don't know if there's a correlation, but that has both stopped for me and him. Um, I did want to make one a comment about the frequency. I completely agree with that. That I do think that we all kind of admit, or there's something within our DNA or our soul's DNA, if you will, that
Yeah.
aligns differently to different beings. It doesn't mean we won't see the same, but it doesn't mean we will. Um, like the shadow with the hood, I didn't necessarily feel like it was bad. I feel like it got seen, and I don't think all shadow beings are bad. I've heard stories about ones that are helpful. Um, Not everything dark is evil, right? Dark colored.
Yeah.
Um, I have seen, the only thing I can equate it to, and it has to be plasma because it wasn't actually smoke, but when I've gotten super angry, I felt like me and my partner both saw black smoke type things flying through the room. And I
Yeah.
know that they were there feeding off of my rage and anger. I mean, I don't tend to have rage. This was a different kind of a situation, but I've actually seen it and he saw it too. So it's not like, whatever. But yeah, anyways, and I wrote shadow down right as you were saying shadow work. So that was like, whoa, that was weird.
Well, that's what, the shadow beings. When this is, I wasn't even going to go to the shadow beings, but anyway, it's all part and parcel.
Yeah.
When I went into another dimension, I was accessing another dimension. I got pulled through 2 layers and into the third dimension. Well, not this one, but And when she pulled me through, she said, "They know you're here. I've only got seconds or something." So I turned around to see who they were, and there were 2 solid form men running towards me. I couldn't see their faces, but it was just like those men in black that everybody talks about. I'm like, oh, geez, you know, I turned back as she was gone. So I started to run. The first step that I took, I went from one spot, and it just like, I just like ricocheted such a distance before my other foot came down. So I was like, wow, okay. And then when I went past because when I go into these states now, because I broke the sleep paralysis, there's a way to do that. Okay. Um, when you can see it, you can go heaps of journeys. You go to so many places. The building I saw was a glass pyramid, and it had what reminded me of was the Commonwealth rings. They're all different colors, and they were on the side of this triangle pyramid-like building, glass building. And when I went past, now when I go past it and I can see it over and over again, I'm not a physical like this. I'm like an orb. I'm like one of the orbs that come around here and, pop in and visit. And so I'm like, when I came back into this physical and sat up, looked right in front of me, I saw what was like a light at the wall, and this being stepped through it. And as it stepped through it from the solid, turned into a shadow being. And when it realized that I could see it as a shadow being, it dissipated. The light dissipated. It was all over. I'm back, fully back. And it was like, wow. So I had to take a different, I had to totally change my point of view, my concepts of what it was I was experiencing, what were these beings that were coming in. If I was able to go through there and turn out to be an orb. Now I've done not just remote viewing, astral projection and all of this, and it is different. The out of body experience is different, and it's like these beings out there don't see us in the solid walking around person kind of way. They see us more of a orb energy. So we're already floating around and doing things in a repetitive pattern. So when we look out there and see them moving around doing a repetitive pattern, what is it they're trying to say to us? Have they shown you, if you're seeing the pyramids that they're making and the different patterns, do you
Mhm.
see that during the daytime in the clouds? Have they been moving the clouds and making the same patterns?
Yes, yes. I actually asked for pyramids in the sky at one point, and the next day I got them. I was like, okay, that can't be a coincidence. I mean, I still try to, my human brain tries to talk me out of what I'm clearly seeing all the time. And in Shasta, Mount Shasta, it's a highly energetic place. I know it's pretty commercialized now, but there is something to that place. I could feel beings around me. I could hear voices within the wind that was not wind, because
Yeah.
I've lived in the country my whole life. There's a difference. And I was trying to make out what they were saying so bad, but they did put a triangle in. It was just a triangle. And I have a picture of this. I have to find it. And not only was it a triangle, there was a J, a perfect J with the
Yep.
top, and all my children's names start with J, and they two of them were with me. So I was like, okay, you guys, you're showing up, because I asked, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to miss seeing you. Can you show up? And they would show up in different ways. And clouds. I did get the lights once in Nevada while I was driving, which is hard to do. It's hard to, have sightings while in a vehicle
Yeah.
and driving at the same time. So, two showed up in Nevada and one showed up in Las Vegas. So, yeah.
Do you feel this is a communal question? The chat room is very, very active, and I'm really getting into our conversation. So I'm sorry, guys, if I'm not covering all your points in here, but I am having a look and I'm seeing them. So okay, here's a question for you. When you're seeing some of these, do you feel like you're being taken, abducted?
I do feel, I have an inner feeling that I have been taken for a long time. I just can't remember it, and it frustrates me more than makes me angry or feel like I'm being abused or something. Except with exception for the bloody nose I had not too long ago for 3 days in a row, that felt. But still, I was like, I'd still like to remember, even if you are hurting me, and I please have a memory of what's happening,
Yeah. Well,
please. Like,
yeah.
and yeah.
That's like the conversation we were having earlier. I went into something just recently, doing some psychic surgery, and I could not hear what was going on in the exterior of me, but it didn't mean that I was going through any form of trauma or anything of that sort. I bilocated, to another location, and I had a job to do, and I came back. And when I came back, that's when I stepped in, and everybody else got my attention. I don't know what actually was going on, what I sounded like, what I was doing, if I was having a freak out or anything of the sort, but and it was like, okay, so we want to be aware, we want to know what's going on with us, no matter who touches us, no matter where we're going, because it's not just the solid form touch, it's also the what's going on with our spiritual self. So I don't know what you want to call it, spiritual soul, light energy, whatever it is that you relate to is going on. It's this, because we're multidimensional beings having these multidimensional experiences, and it's only going to increase. But I'm loving this time now because we are seeing them more. And I do. What about you? When I see them at the moment, it's like, when you come in, please come in mass, because humans are so fickle that if they don't understand what you are, they're going to take you out. They're going to take you out. They're going to see you as a threat, and they're going to take you out. So you need to make sure you come in mass. Now I'm seeing, and a few of others are seeing them, they're no longer flying across the sky in single form. They are in with another partner. They've partnered up. That to me tells me that there's something more going on. If they're having to be partnered up, what are they worried about as well that we're doing down here? Because I don't believe that this is just for us, this Garden of Eden. I think it's for all of these creatures. some of the orbs that come through. I'm sorry if I'm taking up your time, darling.
No, no,
So
no,
some of
no. This is your time too.
some of these beings that come through have come in the multi-dimensional orb and opened out, and where I've seen light beings come out of it, like fairies, like fae. I've got a couple that I call the handlebars and the fairy because it's just what they look like, and they are energy forms that trying to take on and trying to mimic the energy and the frequencies around us, so that they could, I feel like, so they could be accepted and not hunted, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
have you seen any of these sort of things?
Yeah, I see, but I don't see them in the spheres, except for with exception for the one time I saw one solid turn plasma, um, and I did see a fairy fly into my tree that looked like it was on fire, like I just told
Yeah,
you about the firework type thing. So yeah, that could have been part of that too, because I am very connected. I s- I also see lots of glitter.
yeah.
I don't know, glitter. I get kissed on the cheek all the time, especially when I'm in the mirror. They make themselves very known. They'll kiss me or my daughter on the cheek. It's a very sweet, playful. I'm never afraid of these. I also see and I'm not too sure what it is, but it's like a very quick blue. The only way I could explain it is an orb. It shows up and then goes away. I've only seen one red one and a couple purple, but for the most part, they're blue. And I feel like maybe it's a manifestation of a blue being, maybe trying to uh, make make themselves known to me with some kind of correlation or give me some kind of guidance. But yes, I do think that there's something else going on. I do think that some of these humans who are, quote unquote, in control would do stupid things and hurt things that don't need to be hurt before we have a chance to be with them again. Because I remember being in Lemuria and I remember sharing this realm with all realms. Like there was no veil in my memories. Now, whether that was a different dimension or even world, I don't know. But yeah, it shouldn't be like
Mine's
it
the
is.
same. It's that's right. It's like it should not be like this. This is not right. It's like we could have the Garden of Eden. All right, we could have all of these different types of beings and entities interacting with us. We could step back into being telepathic. When you're with, it's like when you go to learn a language. If you want to learn it faster, you mix with those people. All right, you'll feel the frequency. You'll pick up that language faster. And it's like if you're in the company of all of these paranormal entities, you're going to see paranormal entities. Or same with orbs, same with whatever is out there. When you put the energy, it's clear intent. They pick up on it, they hear it, they know it. And yeah, absolutely, we could turn this planet back into our Eden. These beings are still here. They're still here. They're just,
Yeah.
because man lives in a predator prey reality, everything has to be bloody difficult, doesn't it? you know. Um,
Yeah.
oh, geez. You were talking about the blue orb. I have a blue orb that comes to me and lets me know when I'm going to get a visitation, and my cat sees it as well. I
Yeah.
I caught a blue orb one day. I've got some guys and some of you in the audience have seen it. One day a blue orb came through the wall, and I just happened to switch flick the light at the same time, and the light went blue. It went completely blue. I've got photos of it. Now I took it to a Sparky friend of mine. He says, "Yeah, this does happen, but what's the stuff inside it?" And when we looked closer, there was like uh, some sort of material. There was a blue material that was inside this light. Like, shit, did I just zap?
Oh no.
Did I just zap one? Did I just accidentally
Yeah.
zap one? Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but I still got the visitation. I still got the
Yeah.
visitation, but I don't know that they can be hurt per se the way that what we call getting hurt. But yeah, that did happen. It came through. I've got photos of them coming into my lounge. There's a big blue one. I had what I call the sparkles. There's a video out there on my Rumble and my YouTube of called Sparkles, and I got up in the morning and it was just like a rainbow was. You could easily say a rainbow was coming through my top window, and it lit up the entire room, and there were orbs coming in, flashing here and there, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then when now that the technology is, I've caught up to the technology we have. Zoom right in, you can focus on one area and you can zoom right in, and there's a little creature, there's a little morphed creature, and it goes behind the curtain, and I'm like, wow. And that came from a blue, the blue orb, the blue sphere was there, so it's very, very prominent, and it comes around a lot. I've also got the bright green ones. The green and the blue seem to hang out. One day I was doing a room, and somebody took a photo of me. There was actually 3 people took photos of me because I turned green. Nothing else around me. I had I forgot what they call it in the paranormal terms. The stick figures that they see. I've got 2 stick figures that are in green pixelated standing next to me. I'm completely green, and there's a blue orb behind my head.
Oh my gosh.
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
I like
That's super.
I like to expect the unexpected, as you do.
Yes, I love it. Yeah. I do see the blue and green orbs in the sky together, so I'm sure that there is some correlation because where there's a green one, there's always a blue one. There's never not those 2 pairings. And my favorite thing is having me and my cat look at the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Or sense something at the same time. I'm like, you saw that too. She's like, if you could see everything I could see, you wouldn't be no.
Yeah, yeah. No, I look at the animals. I've got cats and I've got a goat, and they're quite sensitive. I mean, the goat goes off at a drop of a hat. If something's like in like airplanes or anything like that, I've got night cameras, and I'm waiting to see the contact between the orbs and the goat, because I've seen it with the cats, and the cats let me know. It's like, here's one for you. When you have a night terror, slightly different subject, but it all sort of fits together. When you have a night terror, do your animals sit on you?
They sit on me when I'm sick. They sit on me when I'm sad. Yeah, I actually have had a cat wake me up in the middle of one. And I thought it was a coincidence because at the time I wasn't really, you know, diving deep into any of this. But I was having a huge nightmare, and all of a sudden I'm woken up by a cat jumping on me. Um, so yeah, I thought it was a bad thing, but I think she was trying to get me out of the situation I was in. But they do transmute. Like I also woke up to my cat who's no longer with me. Um, but I had a terrible stomach ache. Like it was so awful. I don't even want to know what it was from. But I woke up and she was doing that kneading thing
Yep.
on my belly, right where it was hurting. And it's like, it's not like I can tell her, come massage my stomach, it hurts. She just sensed it, or she saw it, and she focused her energy on it to help heal me. So yeah, yeah, they're good to have around. I have another one that is like a guard dog and will growl at stuff I can't see and will not let me out of her sight outside.
Okay.
And sometimes she'll walk the perimeter. And I'm not joking.
No, I agree. So, here's a little tip. The next time you start seeing orbs or spheres, whichever one, see how your animals are reacting and try to take a photo. If it starts to get focused on some direction it's looking at specifically, we got a lot of that happening at the moment. We got a bit of one of the cats is going a bit crazy. It came in and it just does not want to be in it just bolted like there's a being in here. And then the other one was acting really weird, like there was something in the yard that was coming into the house that only the cat could see because of the way it was like, the way it was walking around and stuff. Oh, geez, what was the question I was going to ask you? Oh, that's right. Take a photo of your cat's eyes. All right, just
Okay.
slightly on the side so you're not blinding it. It's not directly boom, because I've got photos where I've got orbs showing up in the cat's eyes in daytime. In daytime, so they have got
Oh,
contact. They definitely can see more than what we can see. They can sense it, and they're amazing. They're amazing. Um, but yes,
there's
my
something
cat
actually
saw
flying around the
a.
room right now. I just saw something fly over here and over here that I can't actually
Okay,
see. I just,
you.
yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. So.
Well, that was weird because you slowed right down and you sped right up again. So I don't know if the whole world got to see that or not, but
Oh,
take his timestamp, somebody.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Oh, look, freaky stuff happens every time we go on camera with somebody. It's just like, oh, geez. But this is how it really is. The
Yeah.
veil's pretty much gone because we've changed the perception of what the veil is. And with that change, it's like learning a word when you've used this word always over and over again, and then suddenly you break it down, you start doing wordsmithing or spellcasting, whatever you want to call it, and you break it down, and it's like it's totally different. It loses its power. You transmute that energy, and then you take it on. It's yours to use. I feel that when we get to a certain level of understanding about ourselves, it helps us to communicate with the other beings and entities that are out there. So we've done a good hour there. So is there any other areas that you would like to cover?
Um, I don't know. We covered a lot. I don't know. I
I had
can't
some
think.
photos, but I really don't want to stuff anything up. Okay, so
Well, you could
I'll
try.
try to. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Ready for it? All right. So there's one of mine, and that was
Oh.
inside my fenced yard. That's inside my yard. On the other side of that is a road and houses. So there you go. That's one inside. Um, then I threw this one together so you can see that one. These are a couple of snapshots I took from the video that I've got of it flying across the sky and morphing. And
Yeah.
you can see the cluster above the roof there. I mean, you can see how high it was. That's what it was like with the beings inside. And then
Yeah, you can see the different ones all around it too if you really look.
yeah, yeah. And the other one, this one here, is when they came from as a plasma ball like this into the room, and then they morphed into the different beings. So
Oh,
yeah, it
yeah.
it's it's a
Well, that's
it's a
cool.
neat reality. It is a neat reality
Yeah.
when we start going, this is an adventure. What do we want to discover today? And we allow ourselves to say, hey, good to see you. Now, how for me, when I go outside and I feel the pull to go out there, I'll close my fist. I don't know, I might be giving away a secret here, but I open my fist, like I feel where my light energy is, and I bring it to the center, and then I just like beam it out. It's like boom, and I'll flash them a couple of times, and I'll say, "Hi, I'm friend, not foe. Flash me to say hello."
Oh, that's so cute.
So that's my little mantra that I do, and within seconds of me doing that, they show up. So on the weather days, here's one for you. What about the weather? Do you see that the weather affects their coming out and playing?
Yes. Although, I don't know how many days exactly. It was like 5. It was a very cloudy night. It wasn't so cloudy that there wasn't any space, but the areas that I was seeing the most activity was pretty thick with clouds. And since I knew I could ask them things and get results with my brain or my mind, I I was like, I know it might be hard or, out of your way, but could you somehow like light up through the cloud? Because a cloud is not completely solid. A light can, um, and about a couple minutes later, this big bright light came out, and it wasn't. I know what a plane is. I know, it was definitely one of these beings, and I was so happy. And then I got flashes through the cloud too, because I don't usually see the same kind of activity within the clouds. So yeah, I felt really special, very special.
I've got some footage of two flying together, but they look white. They're mimicking the color of the clouds, but I know that they're plasma, and that was just outside here, and it's full on daytime, and they're just flying between the clouds, and you can see them flying in unison. So it's like, and then when the cloud, I've had them write letters in the clouds. I'm not 100% sure that it's them doing it or whether it is another energy entity out there playing games. But they've said, like, they've yelled at me a couple of times and said, hey, and hey, you, right? Because I've told them, don't call me the name that I was at a certain age, because they yell that at me and it's not, left that one behind.
Yeah,
So they didn't know what to call me, so they call me Hey You, and they wrote it in the clouds, and I'm like, wow, this is actually real communication that is going
yeah,
on. If they can speak our language, what?
yeah.
Why are we the missing link? Why is there not more communication going on? So anyway, oh man, there's so much we could, so many different
Yeah,
areas.
yeah, there is. I even had a thought and I completely forgot it, but yeah, yeah, there's so much. Oh, I know what it was. What's your take on the veil um, being just our mental capacity, most of it? Because I know that it's thinning and I'm seeing more, but you think people can't see or won't see more because their mental capacity to accept it or be okay with it is not allowing them to? Like,
Yeah,
do you think it's
I
a mental veil?
I think
Yeah.
there is a big portion to that. It's like the story about the frog. You can stick a frog in a terrarium, and you can put a dead fly right in front of it. It won't see it. It won't see it. You put a live fly in front of it, it's going to chase it around the room. It doesn't mean that the dead fly is not there. It just doesn't have that pulse for the senses of the frog to see it or even want it.
Hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
if we start telling ourselves that we are more, we can feel that we're more, we step into the embodiment, living the actual, doing the boots on the ground, living the embodiment of our higher selves. That comes on with what our senses are, our the clarity of the way our communications are going. And when we have that, we start seeing and feeling and sensing more. I don't believe that it shuts us off completely, because within every frequency there is some sort of density being that matches
Hmm.
that frequency, that density, that space. So yeah, yeah. And yes, oh, okay. Yes, the jungle juice would have also blocked out a few areas of being able to perceive and see what's right in front of people's faces. So um, I sort of feel like we were getting into a stage of our humanitarian side where our abilities were coming to the top, and everybody
Yeah.
was waking up, and then all of a sudden there was this jungle juice that went round and slam shut everybody else. Some people you can even see, and I question this, and the twisty head ones, where they suddenly start twisting their head and they spin around and then they seize out on the floor. I've studied a few of them. I'm 50-50 on it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm happy to take that, happy to learn and grow. But from what I saw of that, they're trying to swat something out of their way. They're actually seeing something. So I have to go back, because of my the way my brain works, I have to go back and I have to investigate each of the way these people are moving. What are they looking at? What's the reflections in their eyes? Because they were coming out saying that these people having these seizures and things were having epileptic fits and seizures. Some of them may, there may be a percentage of that, but not all of the ones that I've seen. There's no way they were seeing other entities, and they, whether it was brought on by the jungle juice changing what's going on in their DNA, speeding it up, slowing it down, all of this. It has everything that we put into our system plays a role on our abilities. What do
Right.
you think you'll see if you start having more ginger in your tea?
Right.
And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Oh man, we've got to do a part two. We have to do this
Yeah.
again. There's
Yeah. I agree.
so many fantastic, opportunities right now for sharing the commonalities and getting our findings so that when they do come in, we can communicate with them. Because what I'm seeing is a few times I've said things, and people like yourself have gone out and had straightaway experiences. I've got nothing
Yeah.
to do with it. You did it yourself. You went out there, you were in the right mindset, and you made it. You showed them, and they went, okay, we're going to take the veil off because we're always here anyway. We're going to take that veil
Yeah.
off, and you can see us. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for sharing these experiences, because there's so much more to discover about
Oh yeah.
the connections, their behavior patterns. I mean, yeah, we could go on for ages, but we better call it quits this time and make it a part two. So, do you have any last words? And I'll just do a shout out to the room first. Is there
Okay.
any questions in the audience before we wrap it up? I'll give you a count of three. There's a lot of conversations. We'll have to go back and go over a lot of these messages later on, because they're good conversations. All right, and if not, then it doesn't look like there's too many people saying too much. So I just would like to say thank you so much, Miya StarFire, for coming in and being part of this. And yeah, we're going to be hanging out a bit more, I think, and we're going to be sharing a few more photos.
Yeah.
Do go and like and subscribe to Miya Farfire. What the hell is Farfire? Go and subscribe, say it slowly, to Miya StarFire's YouTube. All right, we need to get her up, and we need to get her out there going live. So let's do this, people. All right, anything you'd like to say, honey?
No, just thank you so much for having me. Thank you to everybody who came. I absolutely love talking about this because this is more real to me than most of the things um, I've lived through. So, and I just love talking about it openly without having to, cut off the corners or, cherry pick little things. I love this. So,
Yeah,
thank
we
you to
never You're most welcome. We never quite know where it's going to go with Roughshod Ramblings. It's like, we try to stay on track, but it's just deep diving. We just got to explore every avenue of it. It's like, and next time I want to check out the diary that you have to do with all these beings that come in, and because
Yeah.
we go through different. Once we've seen something and experienced something, and we've shared it, then we go through this come down period of, did I really see it? You start questioning yourself. You go through these different emotional things, and you wonder if somebody's going to turn around and poo-poo what you've seen. And you've got to get all of that together and just push it aside, because this is your experience, and it doesn't matter what other people think of your experience. This is for you to have. If you happen to be having them with others out there, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. And I'd like to say thank you for having those experiences, because I can relate. I can relate. So thank you very much, Miya StarFire, for coming on. We will do a part two. I'm not sure when, but we will.
Okay.
And
Cool.
thank you to everybody who came along. There's half a dozen of you or more there. So thank you very much. And we're going to sign off this time, and we will catch you again whenever. Just watch out, because we don't have too much warning when we go to do it. These are more of a spontaneous combustion sort of rough ramblings. It happens. We make it happen. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Maya. And
Okay,
I'm going
thank
to
you.
end the stream.
Okay.